there was a man named Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan Flash. Muawiya was born in the Banu Umayyah tribe, which was the richest and most powerful tribe of Arabia. This tribe always had enmity with the Shia Banu Hashim, the tribe in which the Prophet Muhammad was born. The people of Banu Umayyah were known to be indulgent and oppressive. They possessed immense wealth and spent their lives in luxury. Because of this, Muawiya and his father, Abu Sufyan, also spent their lives in pleasure-seeking. When the Prophet declared his prophethood, Abu Sufyan strongly opposed him and severely persecuted the early Muslims. He conspired against the Prophet along with Abu Jahl. But during that time, the Prophet was under the protection of his uncle, Abu Talib, and because of that, no one could harm him. After the death of Abu Talib, Abu Sufyan made a plan to assassinate the Prophet. At that point, Allah commanded the Prophet to migrate, Hijrah. So he and some Muslims left for Medina. Meanwhile, Abu Sufyan's daughter, Sayyida Habiba Egaro, had already accepted Islam, impressed by the Prophet. She went to Abyssinia, Habasha, with her husband. But there, her husband left Islam and converted to Christianity, and soon after he died, leaving Habiba alone. The Prophet then sent her a proposal of marriage, which she accepted. After the Hijrah, the Battle of Badr took place, the first battle in Islam. Abu Sufyan came with an army of 1,000 soldiers, while the Muslims were only 330. Muawiya also came with his father to fight against the Muslims. During the battle, Muawiya saw a man fighting bravely with a double-edged sword, killing the chiefs of Quraysh one by one. That man was in this battle, Imam Ali, aged killed 24 chiefs of the disbelievers, including Chief Utbah bin Rabi'ah, Muawiya's grandfather, and Hayandallah, Muawiya's brother. When Muawiya's mother had heard about the death of her father and son, she cried madly and vowed revenge. She swore to kill the Prophet's uncle, Hamza Arab, the commander of the Muslims in that battle. From this time onward, hatred against Imam Ali, took root in Muawiya's heart. Hind then hired a slave named Shaykhan Washi Rigazund, who later killed Hamza Nikhare in the Battle of Uhud, Medina. After Hamza's martyrdom, Hind even cut open his chest, pulled out his liver, and chewed it in front of the Prophet. Later came the Qushtashine Battle of Khandak, the trench. Again, Abu Sufyan and Muawiya fought against the Muslims, but they lost. Afterwards, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah was signed. When the treaty was broken, Abu Sufyan realized that the Muslims had become very powerful, and if they attacked Makkah, the Quraysh would not survive. So he traveled to Medina to request the Prophet not to annul the treaty, but the Prophet did not accept his plea. Abu Sufyan then went to visit his daughter, Habiba. When he tried to sit on the Prophet's mat, she pulled it away, saying, "You are not worthy of sitting here. The Messenger of Allah sits on this." Soon after, the Prophet marched into Pekin, Makkah, with his army and conquered it. This was the turning point when Islam became the dominant power in Arabia. Allah commanded the Prophet to give the disbelievers two choices: either accept Islam or leave Arabia. Otherwise, they would be killed. Abu Sufyan had no option left except to accept Islam. Even then, Abu Sufyan admitted that he still had doubts in his heart. But after much persuasion by Abbas, R.A., he recited the Shahada. Both Abu Sufyan and Muawiya thus became Muslims. However, the Muslims did not trust them, as they had been lifelong enemies of Islam and only accepted faith out of fear of death. To restore his family's dignity, Abu Sufyan requested the Prophet to appoint Muawiya as a scribe of revelation, Katib al-Wahi, and the Prophet, out of mercy, accepted. One incident shows the arrogance of Muawiya. The Prophet once sent Ibn Abbas, R.A., to call him, but Muawiya repeatedly replied, "I am busy." When this happened multiple times, the Prophet became angry and said, "May Allah never fill his stomach." After the Prophet's passing, Abu Bakr, or R.A., became the first caliph. Abu Sufyan tried to incite Imam Ali, saying, "How can others become caliph when you are the rightful one? If you wish, I can fill Medina with soldiers to fight Abu Bakr." Imam Ali, replied, "O Abu Sufyan, you have always been an enemy of Islam. You only spread fitna. Unity in Islam is more important, so I will remain silent." Thus, Ali A.S. sacrificed his right for the sake of unity in the Muslim Ummah. During Umar, R.A.'s caliphate, Islam became a superpower, defeating the Roman and Persian empires. Umar appointed governors in different regions, including Yazid bin Abu Sufyan, Danka, Muawiya's brother, as governor of Syria. But when Yazid died in the plague of 639 CE, Umar appointed Peshwa Muawiya in his place. As governor, Muawiya lived a life of luxury, wearing expensive clothes, which angered Umar, R.A. Umar rebuked him, saying, "A Muslim leader should not wear such clothes." Umar usually removed governors after 4 years, but Muawiya was afraid of losing power. After Umar's martyrdom, suspicion arose that Muawiya benefited most from his death, since the killer, Abu Lulu Feroz and Shia, was the slave of Dashtashir, Mughira bin Shu'bah, Shia Bish Gindai, a close ally of Muawiya. When Uthman, R.A., became caliph, he did not remove Muawiya because they were related. For 12 years, Muawiya remained governor of Syria and built his power by corruption and bribery. Uthman also appointed other relatives as governors, many of whom were corrupt. This caused unrest, leading to Uthman's assassination. When Uthman's house was besieged, Muawiya never came to defend him, suggesting possible involvement. After Uthman's death, people chose Imam Ali, A.S., as caliph. Ali, A.S., removed corrupt governors, including Muawiya. Muawiya, however, wanted power and used Uthman's murder as a pretext to oppose Ali. Meanwhile, Aisha, R.A., also opposed Ali and marched with an army to Basra, which led to the Battle of Jamal. After Jamal, Muawiya saw his opportunity. He raised an army against Ali, leading to the Battle of Siffin. Ali's commander, Malik al-Ashtar, nearly defeated Muawiya, but Muawiya's trick of raising Qur'ans on spears caused confusion. Many in Ali's army forced him into arbitration against his will. This weakened Ali's support, and later the Kharijites, Shiite extremists, broke away, eventually assassinating him. After Ali's martyrdom, the people chose Imam Hassan, A.S., as caliph. Imam Hassan prepared to fight Muawiya, but Muawiya bribed many of his commanders with gold and promises of power. Some even secretly pledged loyalty to Muawiya. Realizing betrayal within, Imam Hassan signed a peace treaty with Muawiya under strict conditions. Muawiya must rule according to Quran and Sunnah. He must not appoint his son Yazid as successor. He must stop persecuting Ali's followers. After his death, leadership should return to Hassan or Hussein, A.S. Muawiya accepted these conditions for power, but he later broke all of them. He could not rule freely while Hassan was alive, so he had Hassan poisoned. After Hassan's martyrdom, Muawiya openly ruled with oppression. He misused public wealth and even ordered that in every mosque, Ali, A.S., should be cursed from the pulpit before the Friday sermon. Generations grew up hearing curses against Ali. Thus began the institutionalized hatred against Ahlul Bayt. Muawiya fabricated false hadiths in his favor and suppressed the virtues of Ali, A.S. Anyone who narrated Ali's merits was executed. He even declared usury, riba, to be permissible. When Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Al-Hajir, objected, saying, "I heard the Prophet declare riba forbidden in all forms," he left Muawiya's presence saying, "I cannot stay where such a ruler governs." The Prophet had once said, "If you ever see Muawiya on my pulpit, kill him." The Prophet also cursed Muawiya, his father and his brother, when they once passed in front of him. Imam Hussein, on Vaishas, remained patient due to the treaty Hassan, A.S., had signed. He waited for Muawiya's death. But before dying, Muawiya appointed his son Yazid as caliph, violating the agreement. On his deathbed, Muawiya warned Yazid about 3 men. Abdullah bin Umar, harmless, devoted to prayer. Abdullah bin Zubayr, cunning but not too dangerous. Hussein ibn Ali, the greatest threat, whom Yazid would never defeat if he rose. As Muawiya predicted, after his death, only Imam Hussein, A.S., stood up against Yazid. What followed was the tragic massacre of Karbala, one of the most painful chapters of Islamic history.